That's the same
Washoe
show,
County,
isn't it?
Washoe,
No, a different
yeah,
show.
Washoe County Fairgrounds. We did this show, similar to the one that was at Alfred's. This was my band here, the Tandon West Group. You remember him?
No.
I produced a record with him, and it's Highway Bound, and I still have one copy of it. And it's a good song.
Are you
It's a good
performing
song.
on it?
No, no. But
When you say your band, what does that mean?
well, I managed them. Kind of a country rock deal. Someday I'll play you that song. I have to get a 45 player to play it. That 45 record. But I think it's a marketable song. I don't know if I own it now by
The rights?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the rights or
A
not.
lot of years
Yeah,
ago.
yeah. That's just, this is not 60 years ago, 50 years ago. 74, 84, 94, 114. 124 is 50 years ago.
So Elvin Bishop, Steve Miller, what you got anything to expand on there? I know Steve Miller hung out in Berkeley a lot.
Yeah, well, this is not the Steve Miller from the Steve Miller Band. This is a harmonica player whose name was Steve Miller that played with Elvin, was in Elvin's band for a long time. Different Steve Miller than the Steve Miller Band that you're thinking of. Rick Kellogg and friends. And those names are just down there because it's Crabshaw's Outlaws that Elvin played under in local clubs when he was under contract with a Hollywood booking agent and recording contracts and stuff. So he was limited where he could go out as the Elvin Bishop Band. He couldn't book himself around locally, and they didn't want to put him in local nightclubs anymore because there's a big promotional thing going on. So he went out as Crabshaw's Outlaws. So it was basically the Elvin Bishop Band, just named it different. And those names are thrown in there to Steve Miller, Rick Kellogg, and friends. Elvin Bishop, Steve Miller, that signal it's the Elvin Bishop Band. Because Elvin did play solo too. I mean, he did solo stuff, not acoustic. He did slide guitar. And he's a good solo performer. He's performing now as a trio. I forget the name of his trio. He's got a Congo player and another guitar player, and Elvin's on basically his slide guitar, not steel slide guitar, but he uses the slide pipe, on his guitar a lot. And then Elvin's going out with Charlie Musselwhite now, also as a duo. I'd like to see that show, and I thought about possibly bringing that into Virginia City, but just for old time's sakes, but I haven't really done anything about it. So this is Washoe County Fairgrounds again. They did a lot of shows at that fairgrounds.
Yeah.
That's the old livestock pavilion. There's a new livestock pavilion now. And this thing had a dirt floor because it's a livestock pavilion. And it had permanent dirt floor. And what we do is buy big rolls of visqueen. And I don't know if you remember that, then we roll them out over the dirt because otherwise the dust would get up so much. And it got up a little bit anyway. But we covered up the floor. We spent,
I wonder how
several
many
$100
shows we
with
probably
visqueen.
did with Cold Blood. My God,
A lot.
a lot.
And you booked them at Frenchie's. I booked them at Dodge Room, booked them at the Reindeer Lodge. I mean, it's. I would guess that if you combined, if you looked at us as a team, I'm sure we did more shows with Cold Blood than anybody else.
Yeah.
Probably by a factor of 3. Bill Graham might be second. I don't know. What other club did they play that much? I mean, they played the Odyssey at least, I'm going to say 3.5 times a year, maybe not 4 times, but 3 to 4 times a year, but even call 3 times a year for 15 years. So that's 45 shows at the Odyssey Room. And probably did 15 or 20 shows at the Reindeer. You probably did 20, 30 shows at Frenchie's? Maybe
She
more.
played for me at the
Yeah.
Roll Arena.
Yeah.
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 Way before
Yeah.
anything else, she was playing for me at the Roll Arena.
So she probably did 50 or 60
Yeah.
shows, at least for you, and combined these concerts. We had to use them a couple dozen times on our concert tour thing. We went under.
What's your
Sound
impression
spectrum.
when you think about Lydia's style and comparing Janis Joplin and the voice of that era? How would you describe her voice and where she
Well,
ranks?
she's not as raspy as Janis Joplin, and not. She's smoother, a little bit more blues, a little bit less rock, more charismatic. I mean, Janis Joplin was kind of raw. Lydia's not raw. She's powerful, but not raw. But they were comparable, but of course, Lydia never rose to the stardom that Janis Joplin did. But Lydia is now 75 years old, and Janis Joplin
Way gone.
made it to
Yeah.
28. I
Yeah,
think.
she didn't go
Yeah.
very far. No.
And you could probably see that in the music. I think.
Yeah. So what do you think kept Lydia from eclipsing her during her period?
Her biggest problem was she left the business and went up to the mountains to be with a boyfriend. She
Well, to raise her child, to raise her daughter.
raise her kid and grow marijuana.
We got it right.
Yeah, and she was up there when her career was just getting big. She left, and that hurt her a lot. Hurt her a lot.
Yeah.
Well, and Lydia never really had the pop sound.
You Got Me Humming was a pretty good
Yeah,
song.
she was there, but didn't
Yeah.
really cross over to it. But Bill may be right. If she stayed with it, she might have